Hello everyone, it's good to be back on another episode of Crucial Conversations, the Strong Woman series. Please welcome with me, Sunmbo Adeoye.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so happy to be here.
So let's take this to another level. We know that, yes, you had the prodigal journey, like I like to call it. And,
yes, I did.
With the help of God, you were able to come to yourself, come out of wherever you were, to be able to step out where God would have you be, fight through whatever. And today, we can say, okay, Sunmbo is back. Sunmbo is living a life of purpose. She's driven by purpose. She's driven by her heart for God, all that. But there have been challenges.
Oh, quite a number.
Quite a number, plenty numbers. And a lot of times we wonder, okay, if I'm not where God wants me to be, if I'm cutting corners, if I'm lowering the standards and there are challenges, why not? But if I'm a woman after, my heart is after God, I'm living to please God, I'm living to do things right, why would there be challenges? And then why is it that it's not that there are challenges, they are just coming in like floods, one after the other. And have you ever asked yourself that question?
Oh, yes. I mean, for every detour that I have in life, sometimes I want to go white me. But then after God gave me my own divine compensation, which is my husband, after that stage, I just said to myself, why not me? Because I saw that sometimes when these issues come is because God wants to glorify himself with whatever situation it is. So when I was faced with other detours after marriage, I just knew God is up to something. So instead of think about the pain, I was expecting what God is about to do through this journey. So, and I know he has been able to glorify himself through my life's journey. And there was a point in my life where I gave up on marriage. I knew I wanted to be married, but it was looking like it wasn't going to happen. So I just told myself, please, let's dump this marriage request for a while and focus on all other things. Because I knew that the enemy was trying to use that part of my life as if you don't get it right here, then you can't get it right elsewhere. So I got to a point where, yes, I was asking God to give me a man after his own heart, but I wasn't expecting it. I don't know, you know how we pray, we're supposed to be expecting what we're praying for, but we're not positioning to receive what we want. In fact, when it comes, we are doubting it and saying, this looks too good to be true. So I got to that point in my life, and then when my pastor asked me out, I'm like, please. I know I want a husband, but I wasn't asking for a pastor. You know how people will be like, hey, he's not going to let me be me. I don't want nobody to judge me as a pastor's wife. And so I went back to God and I'm like, I know I want a husband, blah, blah, blah. And then the Holy Spirit reminded me that you have been praying for a man after my heart. That's God speaking to me. And he said, I gave you David. What else do you want? Coincidentally, my husband's name is David. So I paused and I wept. I asked God, I told God, I'm so sorry. I didn't see this the way you're saying it. And so I told God, I said, yes, the fact that you have brought me to it, I know that you have equipped me for this purpose. So I released myself to be used of him. The good thing for me, in case of anyone who is seeing the growth and they see that it's sporadical, it just happened like I was prepared for it for all my life. I just want that person to know that I'm actually, it's not like I was prepared for it, but God, how will I put it? God actually qualified me for it. And then I was privileged to walk into a working system. And then since I already have a purpose that I wanted to do with my life, I already had a relationship with God, I was genuine with the Father, I could hear him and obey him. It was easy for me to maximize the working system. So if there's anybody out there who is like, Pastor Sunmbo, she just came and then everything is working for her. No, it's not like that. There's always a behind the scenes struggle. So I had my own struggle. And then there was this noise, big noise, because I was going to marry Pastor Adeoye. There was this huge noise everywhere. Every tongue was talking. Everyone was talking.
What were they saying?
People were saying, It's not true. It can't be true. How can the pastor be getting married to a single mother? You know, people wanted to know
People
why.
didn't feel you were deserving.
Some people did not feel that I was deserving of that kind of man. I had to pray, I had to fast, I had to really, really seek the Father on this and say, Father, what is it that you really want from me? Why this man? I went for counsel. And so I asked a friend who gave me the contact of one pastor, and then I went to meet him, and recently I saw my jottings from that counseling session. And then I had a big laugh, because that's the same counsel I'll give anyone in my shoes, anyone who is about to make that decision now. I remember the man told me to pray about it and not be pressured, because he's an authority figure over my life.
Yes.
I remember that he said things like, ask God your union or what you're going to his life would achieve. Let God show you that big picture and see if it's a vision you can submit to. You know, so I said those prayers. He gave me those scriptures and I prayed it, and I was at peace with myself. I remembered one of those times when there was this huge storm. I told him, I said, I'm not interested again. That I know that I really want to be married, but I don't want it to be like a marriage that will now cost him is the ministry that God has.
Was the storm that people were...
Oh, people left church.
Wow.
People left church in their hundreds.
Wow.
Yes, it was that bad. Some people could not just accept the fact that pastor was going to get married to Sunmbo. Some people could not accept it. Well, majority just said, whatever it is, the will of God, we're willing to stay by the will of God. I mean, let's say 80% of those who left actually came back. So glory be to God.
Eventually. But at that time where they were leaving,
it was a trying time.
Too much.
You know, it was a trying time. People were going online. People that didn't even know who I am or what my story is or what my journey has been like. You know how people just read things in the news and they always have an opinion. People share their opinion. I remember how I used to just search my name and see what is it that people are talking about this time. And sometimes I'll read these things and then it will break my heart that, God, I just wish you can let the world see what you're doing through me. I wish you can let the world know that sometimes life happens to people.
So I'm going to take you back to, can you just tell us, who is Sunmbo? What do I do presently? What are the things that maybe in the last 2-3 years I've been opportuned to
I have evolved.
Business, ministry, family,
I have evolved. Sometimes when I'm asked to send my profile, I'm like, God, look at what you have done with my life. It is beautiful. Keep doing it. I remembered the Sunmbo back then didn't think. Yes, I had this idea of what my 5 years will be like after 5 years and all of that, but I didn't think it was going to be this big. But I thank God for where I am today. I'm a multi-passionate entrepreneur. I'm a wife, a mother. I'm the first lady of Royalty Christian Center. By the grace of God, I run ESOP Heroes, which is a vision that is born out of my ceaseless desires to support entrepreneurial ideas for young women and then future leaders. I do advisory services, mentorship, trainings, and I do all of these things for free. Okay, I was privileged to be a Goldman Sachs scholar out of the 10,000 Women Initiative, and that gave me some sort of drive. It's like a passion. I just want to help other people because I see that it is not really so hard for you to start whatever idea God has placed on your inside. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people are scared. They don't want to fail. And then the beauty of succeeding is in failing first and then just take a step further. And the reason why I took on that passion is so that you do not fail. So that the fact that I have failed before, I can help you. I can diagnose whatever it is that is going to happen and ensure that you skip that phase and then thrive. I also started the Inspiring Change conference, which is a conference for women where we gather and we bring guest speakers who have been able to thrive in their respective industries that are dominated by men. You know, people like Ibukwa Oshika has been a guest speaker. You know, so we've had quite a number of leading women entrepreneurs. Another thing God has used me to do is this entrepreneurial advancement training for market women in my community. Because I realize a lot of women, they strive so hard. And then if you empower them, you're not only empowering one person, you're actually empowering a whole lineage, a whole community, the whole family. Because I am empowered and privileged to be a Goldman Sachs scholar, I've been able to pull all other women to come on that same level with me. You understand what I mean? So I feel if I can pay it forward, I mean, a whole lot of people around me and are far off, their lives can become better. And the testimonies to the glory of God has been amazing. Wow. Recently, I authored a self-help guidebook towards purposeful parenting. It's titled Parenting a Creative Child. You know, I just decided within me to put up a blog post because I run a blog. And so I sat on my desk, I was typing, I was pregnant. So I was typing, and then something that should just ordinarily be a blog post that will inspire parents to parent purposefully became 3,000 words.
Wow.
14,000 words. I'm like, God, what are you trying to say? Okay, this is beyond a blog post. I think there's something in need for people. And so I spoke to my pastor, and then he told me to just keep writing. So
your pastor or your husband?
Yes, you know, I have to draw the line. To the glory of God, my husband doubles as my pastor.
As your pastor?
He has always been my pastor.
I just had to pull your legs there.
You know, pastor has always been my pastor.
So you see that? So let's take it back. Somebody said, how did you the switch? So is it that the switch never happened?
I think it was the Holy
Spirit.
Switch
goes back.
I think it was the Holy Spirit, because it didn't dawn on me until my wedding day that I was marrying my pastor. Let me explain how that happened. So, you know, Yoruba traditional wedding now, they say the Yahweh should come and all of that. So I was just dancing forward and all the alaga duro, alaga joko and all of that. So it got to the point when they said that I should go and meet my husband. So they cleared the road and said, oh yeah, go and meet your husband. And then I looked forward, it was my pastor seated on the couch. And I'm like,
and it just dawned on you on a different level.
It didn't dawn on me until they said we should kiss. It was so awkward. But when it got to the joining, by the time Reverend Sam was joining us and he said, you may please kiss the bride. I was ready. I just wanted this man, this is what I prayed for. Right there, when he was sharing the vows, I was just in tears. I couldn't believe that all I've asked God for all my life was now coming to pass. You know, the feeling was just out of this world. I mean, I went back memory lane. In that split second, I was just thanking the Father for what is about to start in my life, because I knew it was going to be big. If we are able to scale that height at that point, which was like a big deal, it was as if it wasn't going to happen.
So yes, you struggled, but you came to terms with the fact that you found love.
I found love like
real
I have
love.
Never.
Good love.
Hey, Pastor said, I'll take you on a journey, on a love journey you have never been before. And he was saying it. Hey, my mind, I'm like, this man, do you know what you're saying? No, but then he has, by the help of the Lord Almighty, he's been able to take me on that love journey, because as a single mom of about 8 years, I was used to being independent. I don't want anybody to do anything for me. Not like I don't want it. I don't expect it. You know, like this independent woman, somebody wants to now. He wasn't bossing over me, but he was just caring. But I saw it like, I beg.
Give me some breathing space.
Nobody calls me like this. I'm not used to it. So I'm not used to receiving love with the magnitude he was ready to give to me. Now I am enjoying it. Now I love it. And I think it was just God who wanted to do that switch. He wanted someone that would, how will I put it? Lavish me. And so it came in form of a lavishing kind of love. I wasn't ready. But when I got used to it, I think I like it. I know I like it.
So getting used to it, liking it, and then finding out what it was costing. The tongues.
Yeah, it actually cost us a lot.
You've talked about the fact that it was heartbreaking.
I remembered my husband. I told him then, I said, I'm not interested anymore. That if this is going to cost you your ministry, I don't think it's worth it. I told him, I said, no. I don't think marriage will cost you your ministry. He said, Sunmbo, well, if you say you're not doing, that's you, but me, I've made up my mind, it is you or nobody. That if everybody leaves, we'll start again, me and you. Hey, I knew this man he was, hey, and some people would call me. I mean, we had really nice people call me and say, please don't break Pastor's heart. Pastor loves you, and sincerely, we just want to know if you love him too. And I told them, I said, yes, I actually.
So sorry to cut short, a lot of people, their reaction was they were scared for the
they
man
were
that they love.
Yes, they were
so scared. A man that they've seen stand through a lot of things, stand strong, and we don't want a case where you do anything to break him.
Exactly. So I think their reaction was based on them not knowing what to expect. And a lot of them do not even know me closely as much as they know their pastor. Some of them, they started the journey of the ministry together. And so they're scared. They're like, this man that we reference so much, I hope he will not take this step and then crumble everything that God has built through him. And within me, I knew all they needed was time. You know how time heals everyone, and you know how time will just show them that this is God's will, and time actually did. And
so what were the things you focused on? What? Because we just don't want to put it out there like, then it was challenging. I prayed, I hoped. Now the marriage is good.
No.
What were the changes you consciously made? What were the adjustments?
We went for counsel. I think that is one thing a lot of young people or single mothers who are trying for a second chance, that's one thing they need to take seriously. The place of counsel, the place of mentorship. We went for counsel because our marriage was now a marriage that is starting with children. It's not like the regular marriage. I remember we went for counsel with quite a number of people who we refer to as our mentors, who were like the covering of our head, Reverend Sam, Pastor Taiwo Dukaya, Pastor Namti, and quite some reverends and all of that. And I remember one thing someone said to me. He said, this marriage is starting with children. It's a unique marriage. Is Pastor ready for it? Are you ready to allow Pastor also train these children for you? Are the children also ready for the new daddy, And then one Reverend Mrs. also told me that in case you forget, never forget that this man is your testimony. In case one day you have an heated argument and you are rethinking this union, never forget that this man is your testimony. So every time I remember that in my head.
So counsel helped you reinforce God's words to you.
In the
God's
multitude
instruction.
Of counsel, there is safety.
Hallelujah.
And in that, I just knew, because some of our fears, we were able to talk about them. I was coming from somewhere. He has been in marriage before, and then his wife passed on.
And the grief is still,
and then
there, because grief is still something we deal with in stages, and
So I had to understand that. Counsel really, really helped us. So we knew what we were going into. And then the moment that I saw that he was giving up so much for me, that actually, how will I put it? It toughened our union somehow. We were holding hands to pray. We were praying over the phone. We left what is it that we were feeling to start praying so that we are sure of what we're getting into. And that prayer helped us a lot because we became stronger. We became a team. It was no longer Pastor loves Sunmbo. It was now like this union that God is about to use to break or start a revolution in the Christendom. It was not like, Father, do that which you want to do. And help us to stay strong through this storm so that the world can see what you're trying to do.
So you saw yourself standing as representatives of God.
We were really standing. We were like, nothing is going to break this union because God is about to start a revolution. He's about to do something. And this union is one of the testimonies, a significance.
Wow.
And so we said, yes, it may not be easy. I remember Pastor sitting me down and telling me, Sunmbo, God told me that he's going to use this union to, as a testimony, as a miracle, to let those who are peradventure like wounded soldiers who religious people have made to feel as though they can't have it good again. He's going to use this union to tell them that they can have several chances. Now, this is not to glorify sin. Because at the time when God was restoring me, I was not living a life of sin. I was now, how will I put it? I've rededicated my life to God. I was buried in kingdom service. I could hear him. And I was obeying the instruction. Not like I was doing...
So your patterns had changed. Yes, you had a past.
But it wasn't the past.
Sunmbo had become a different person.
Yes.
And this testimony, this journey of love has been able to bring out a better Sunmbo.
Yes, it
A
did.
sweeter Sunmbo.
I
Greater
usually
impact,
just say that
stronger.
my husband is the best groomer, is the bridegroom, because he has groomed me. Man, God has really been faithful. God has
How
really,
long have
really
you guys been
faithful.
married?
We've been married for 6 years.
Oh.
God has been faithful.
It was your wedding anniversary recently.
Yes, it was our wedding anniversary
6
recently.
years. So how's the journey been?
Oh, it's been a journey of love, joy, happiness. Like I said, the marriage was like an open box. We didn't know what to expect, although we wanted the best. And so I deliberately made up my mind that in this marriage, I was going to put in all the things I want to see. I was going to put in joy. I was going to put in a lot of peace, a lot of happiness, a lot of, I just made up my mind that, yes, this one, Then God gave me one instruction to help him. I remembered that instruction vividly. And I told him, I said, I am here to help you. And so every time that I try to do something, I said, don't worry, I'm working under the leading to help you. And so he will just relax and allow me. But I know that God has just been faithful. I don't even know which part to start with. But it's been a journey of bliss, although we had our ups and downs. Ups and downs in the terms of, let me even just say, the first day I was going to go to church as a pastor's wife after the wedding. There is a reality. All the whole wedding party and all of that is one reality. And then coming to church, not as a choir member now, but as the senior pastor's wife, I was like, wow. But then sitting on that seat was not easy. You're always very careful. Am I smiling too much? Am I not smiling too much? Because everybody is watching. Everybody is watching. Every eye.
Did you feel there were eyes watching? Like,
yes.
Was she for?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Were you scared?
I wasn't scared. I was just like, let me just be.
Was it overwhelming for you at any point?
Well, the earlier stage was not overwhelming. I think the part that was overwhelming for me was my fashion. That one was really overwhelming.
Talk to me. Okay.
It was overwhelming.
So you had to teach your style, or?
No, I was just this kind of girl that loves beautiful things, and I didn't want to appear too flashy. Neither do I want to pretend that this is not me. And so a lot of people now, when they now hear that, somebody is now married to a pastor, they have their own idea of what I should look like. And so they'll say, Sunmbo, don't wear extensions, don't use makeup, don't. And I'm like, God, no, this seat is not supposed to make me pretend and become who I'm not. So I spoke to my husband and I said, this is what so person is saying. This is what he said. Please, I like you the way you are. Just be yourself. And that gave me confidence. So when they tell me, don't wear makeup, I said, my husband loves it. That delivered me from that pressure.
So that's another thing you guys do. You talk about everything.
Oh, we talk about everything. We have our social intimacy on point. Like we go out. We're emotionally intimate. We talk about our feelings, our mood. We talk about everything. Everything.